This online module was created on the traditional country of the Wadawurrung people. We acknowledge them as traditional owners and pay our respect to their elders past, present and emerging. The training is part of a series of free videos provided by the Surf Coast Shire to assist community-run groups, clubs and incorporated associations. The series covers the topics of fundraising and grants, attracting members and helpers, strategic planning and succession, financial management and event planning. We hope they help you. This is the aim of the session. We've deliberately separated the topic into members and helpers, which will be touched on later. The resources mentioned in this session are listed on the web page where you found this module. Feel free to download and use them. Here's what we'll cover this session. Each of these areas is intended to help you thinking about how your group approaches gaining members and helpers. Do you know what direction you're going as a group? Is it clear? If it's not, does it need to be? Because maybe everyone in your group has the same direction and knows it. If not, maybe an elevator pitch would help clarify it. What's an elevator pitch? Thanks for asking. It's from the world of marketing and PR. It's designed to get people on the hook in 60 seconds or less, about the equivalent of an elevator trip. And it opens up possible discussion. As an example, we're an environmental group working along the Barwon River near Narwarri. We have 20 members meeting monthly with funding to remove invasive weeds and plant local provenance species. We need more volunteers. And even if your elevator pitch is clear, do you have a plan? Is it a future plan? Where will you be in 5 years? In 10 years? Do you have a goal? Without a goal, you don't know where you're heading. And a plan doesn't have to be awesome or hugely detailed. Often brief and practical is a better approach because they're usually easier to understand. How's that for a free plug to the next topic, strategic planning and succession? How many is enough? Again, do you know? Is it clear? And why do you need members? Does everyone have to be a member? And this is where the distinction can help. Do you want members or helpers? Would helpers get the jobs done? Sometimes people just aren't joiners. They're happy to help when needed without the risk of being roped in to a committee, which is possibly their fear. An asset map is a pretty simple idea. It captures the good stuff about your group. Start with the half full bit of the glass. Some people call this a strength-based approach. It looks at what you do have and can do. Do you have enough stuff if your group grows in size? If you're an environmental group, have you got enough spades, rakes, bags? If you're a sports club, have you got enough training gear or uniforms or first aid? And so on. If you want to attract more people, will you cope? If you don't already know, start with an asset map. You may not have enough of what you need, but you just might. Incorporated associations have model rules. Back in the old days, they used to be called a constitution. The model rules mention a few roles: president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, general members, if any. So what's a good structure for a committee? Really, it's the one that works for you and your group. But do check your model rules to see what it says about the way you should be structured. And if you want to change it, do the homework on your rules. The model rules are available from Consumer Affairs Victoria, and you'll see them in the resources. One that can work, and from experience did work, was for the annual general meeting to elect a president and 2 vice presidents. That was it. And those 3 people went and gathered a committee. This approach needs your model rules to allow that. But it can happen through a vote from the floor, moving that the executive members could recruit people if they needed. Similarly, it can happen through your model rules because the committee can always set up working groups or subcommittees of the committee with a committee representative as the conduit into the committee. So why would you communicate? Well, we can't join what we don't know. Do you have Facebook? Posts on Facebook or activities or news or information for members and helpers can all be helpful. Have you got someone in your group that's on Facebook and could do this for you? Similarly, what about Instagram? Posts that show off what you're up to and the good things that you're doing. The fear of missing out is called FOMO, and for some people it's quite strong. Again, have you got someone in the group who's an Instagrammer? Can other people see you? Are you active in your area? Are you out and about much? If you're not, how will anyone know about you? And it's not one method versus another. People will learn about you in different ways: seeing you, reading about you, hearing about you. Try all sorts of ways. Harvest email addresses. Send out updates, whether that be monthly, quarterly, or some other timing. Updates or newsletters keep everyone in the picture. Don't leave them guessing. But then again, don't drown them in updates and emails. There is a skill involved, and not everyone gets it right. You do need a balance. So try to find some help with that communication. Be neighbourly. If your group helps other groups, those other groups will help you. Start conversations. What can we do together as groups? Attend other events, markets, fetes, carnivals. They all put your group out there. And remember, a Bunnings barbecue or any community event is about more than money. Think of them as marketing and bonding opportunities. If you get known as helping others, it will come back to you. Raise your group's profile. It helps spread the word. Also, volunteers frequently jump into more than just one thing. The people who are happy to be joiners can be part of several groups very easily. And you won't be competing for people unless your town has 2 footy clubs, perhaps. A skills audit is a scan of the things you need help with. What are the skills and jobs you'll need in your group to get things done? What have you got and what are you missing? Do think about skills. Don't just think about Chris and Jordan, Peter or Robin. Concentrate first on what skills you need, then on who might have them. Often we think of people we like first, and we maybe miss the bit about the skills we need. It doesn't have to be an exhaustive list. Lean into it and start somewhere and see how you go. It does need to break down into a simple list of practical skills. And here's one we prepared earlier. This is just an example, okay? And it's in the resources. Grab it and change it to fit what you need. It could just as easily have included spreadsheets or finance, rules and laws, photography, selling, grant writing, timekeeping, creativity, whatever. Think about what you need to keep your group running and log that. Because the skills audit also helps when thinking about your structure. Maybe the skills can be grouped into subcommittees. Once you know what skills you need, then talk about who you know that has those skills. So, if you're thinking about skills and who might have them, that leads us on to farming. Don't just wait for someone to walk in and join. The walk-ins are absolute gold, but they're even more rare. Find ways to attract people. Those shared events and collaborations that were mentioned, they all help people to see you. Start conversations with people for the skills that your group is missing. Then you can start to plant seeds in your community. Nurture conversations, grow links, and gain the help you've identified as needing. Is it schmoozing? Well, no. It's about building relationships, opening windows or doors that others may not have looked at before. We'll deal with this a bit more in the next training topic, particularly around succession planning. And always remember, well, maybe not quite party time, but do remember to gather together, have fun and celebrate your successes. It helps bring people together, it recognises the wins, big or small, and it thanks those people involved. We're social creatures. We want to belong, so make that attractive. If you can create great celebrations, that's another reason people might want to join in, or even join up. In all that we've seen in this session, there's a bit of work and a bit of risk. If you need more members or helpers, you may have to change the way you recruit. You may need to think differently or operate differently as a group. And it's always easier to worry, oh, what if? And just here, insert your own fear. Change can be hard, but if you stay the same, things will stay the same. Work out what you need. Having a clear purpose, direction, and structure helps. Let people know you and strengthen your connection with others. See what you've got and what you need. Make time for fun and grow your future. You may know another group that seems to run well and have lots of members and helpers. Why not ask them how they do it? Council has a staff member to support volunteering across the Shire. Feel free to contact. The skills audit is in the resources on the page where you found this session. Thanks for your time. We hope it helped.